Welcome to Big Blue Kickoff Live. Thanks for being with us. I'm Madelyn Burke. He's Howard Cross. Madelyn Burke at Madelyn Burke at Howard Cross 87.
That's
the
us.
phone number is 201-939-4513 or find us on Twitter at #GiantsChat. As a reminder, you can find the archive of this show and our entire podcast network on the Giants mobile app, podcast platforms everywhere, and giants.com/podcast. It's a Tuesday news day, Howard.
Tuesday news day. I like that.
Tuesday news day of week 1 of the NFL season. We are 2 sleeps away from the opening kickoff of the season. We are 5 sleeps away from Giants Cowboys Sunday night football. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, unreasonably well. It makes me nervous. I feel so good about this.
Unreasonably well. Why unreasonably well?
Well, you know, the way I look at things, and I'll be quite honest, we seem to have a pretty good offensive line, and we've been, you know, for years looking for that. The tackles are getting. We have one Pro Bowl tackle, one guy that is healthy, so he'll be playing better. The center's got baptism by fire, and JMS.
John Michael Schmitz.
And the
rookie
two guards,
out of Minnesota.
The two guards will have a lot of help, kind of on both sides. So it kind of almost evens out. Saquon's back in the backfield. Mm-hmm. We got the freak of nature Waller at tight end.
Yeah,
and we got speed everywhere.
Does it matter to you? Because I try to tell people this all the time, that when you look at the matchups, right? People are like, oh, you know, the Cowboys have won the last 4 matchups. The Giants haven't beat Dak Prescott since 2016. It's laundry, right? Like it's different teams.
I don't do year to year. I do
right.
what the team looks like at the present. You know, the way it's constructed, and it looks really good. Mm-hmm. I realize it's a tough schedule. I realize a lot of good games, you know, per se are listed, but Joe Shane has done an incredible job building the team, and I'm really impressed by what they have. I mean, with the schedule the way it is, if everybody plays the way they should play, then it wouldn't be a great season. There's gonna be there's gonna be a bunch of better games this year, and I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, I mean, the better games is gonna be a different team, but like we heard from Joe Shane and Brian Daboll at their press conference the other day, it's like, yes, we do think that they, have made some improvements. And you look at this team on paper, it's a different team. There are a lot of improvements on paper, but you're really not going to know until we see them play a game.
Yeah, but again, I'm just excited. The 2 young corners coming in here, both rookies, phenomenal. Banks and Hawkins, or Hawkins and Banks, whichever law firm you want it to be. It's
Tay and Trey.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm watching all these guys, and I'm like, wow. So you watch guys from last year. I'm like, okay, these guys know what they're doing. So they're constructing a real team that's going to be competitive. And it's not like, I don't expect them to, quote unquote, win the division every year or anything, but they will be super competitive going forward. And you can see how quickly the team's growing from last year being stressed out about the salary cap to this year having had competition at every position. Everybody looked strong. And I'm like, okay, well, all right. Well, it was great going. I saw a lot more practices. It was more interesting to see what was going on the entire time. I'm expecting very competitive football from the Giants all year long.
That's good, because that's what you want, right? I mean, we've heard this. I mean, you heard these guys yesterday talking about it. Schmelk says it all the time, closing the talent gap, right? Closing the talent gap, something that, Joe Shane addressed immediately, saying that that's what they need to do in the division. But having competitive games week in and week out is part of that. Yeah,
competitive games, yeah. But again, think about this. Like when we talk about, the talent gap, it's getting closer. You can literally see it now. It's exciting to be around them. And every year you think they're going to take another step. Another step doesn't mean doesn't mean win the division or anything. It just means you can say okay, these guys, they're very close to being one of the best teams, not just in the division, but maybe in the NFC at one point. So this is going to be good. This is going to be a great run.
Yeah, and they're going to be, a lot of shifts too. I mean, you talked about the rookie corners, Tay and Trey. If you haven't heard yet, Deontay Banks, he goes by Tay Banks. And Trey Hawkins on the outside, and then you've got Adoree Jackson in the slot. And last season, he was in the slot a little bit, but not in that nickel all the time. And now, really expected to be going one-on-one with CeeDee Lamb this week. Earlier this week, he was talking about how he remembered an incredible touchdown catch Lamb made on him last year, that one-handed catch. And I like the way that he addressed it. It was like, yeah, you know what? It was a great catch. You know, it was a really impressive, nicely placed ball. You can, game recognize game, but you know what? You got to get back out there, nod your head, tip your hat, and just keep back lining it up. And the fact that like Adoree remembers that play so specifically tells me he's locked in on not letting that happen again.
Well, I don't care what sport you do or whatever it is, the things that go wrong, you seem to have them in great detail. When you do something really good, you're like, yes, that's part of it. I'm just trying to, every day. And then something goes wrong. You're like, man, I cannot believe that just happened.
Whoops. Exactly. That's one of the matchups, though, I think that we are all eyeing, though. Adoree Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, Cowboys offense, they brought in Brandon Cooks. They've got a lot of changes there. The other one, too, though, Saquon Barkley. We haven't seen him on the field yet this season. He didn't get any snaps in the preseason.
Yep.
Going against his teammate, Micah Parsons. They were just out at Happy Valley last weekend.
That's nice.
For the Penn State game. And I'm sure, it was all smiles and handshakes then, but not so much Sunday Night Football.
Buddy, good to see you. Hey, I'll see you soon.
I'll see you soon. I'll be running right past you. I'll wave.
Yeah, and we haven't mentioned like Tavon Thibodeau. We haven't mentioned Sexy Dexy, McKinney in the back. It's just Leo. It's just it's got a lot of guys.
We talked about this too this week on the Coach Dable show, previewing this game. But when you talk about putting pressure on Dak Prescott, that offensive line has been a point of pride for the Cowboys. Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari, Kayvon was talking about this earlier this summer, saying, what, Azeez and I just want to meet at the quarterback, not run into each other, but meet you at the quarterback. And Kayvon saying, I want to put less pressure on myself to get to a certain sack number. I think last year he was kind of eyeing Azeez's rookie sack record and saying, I'm going to get that. And counting that. Now he's looking more at execution. But in terms of pressure on the quarterback, where do you feel like this team is at defensively?
I think it's greatly increased, and I don't think people will realize it. When you got a K in the middle that's going to like shore up a lot of things and free some more guys up to come after the quarterback. You got Simmons coming off the edge that people, we don't talk about him enough. We don't know who he is as fans, but as a player, as a person who's been watching him and understanding where he came from, this guy's a pretty efficient, not even efficient, scary pass rusher because he's got some. Yeah,
he was a top 10 pick out of Clemson.
But think about this: playing corner, playing safety, playing linebacker. Okay, put your hand in the dirt and come off the edge. If he's that fast to cover guys, imagine what it would look like him coming after the quarterback. Yeah. That's going to be interesting. And I don't think people realize. I mean, I think teams are kind of looking at it and trying we'll figure it out. It's the Giants. They play a muddy game. They like to keep it close. It's not going to be the same kind of football this year.
No, it's not going to be. And I mean, that depth in the defensive room in general. I mean, I talked to some guys in there that said, I've never seen this much depth on the defensive line in this group.
Think about it. Last year when Leo and Dex went out, you could see a big difference. Like they'd run the ball right up the middle intentionally. Okay, they're out. We can start running it right at them. And now you got I think you got 2 or 3 groups that are going to go in there that are like big bodies that aren't going to be giving up the run.
Right, absolutely. And you're just acquiring Boogie Basham as well on the edge and getting that pressure in there as well. Something we'll want to see. I know the phone lines are filling up right now. 201-939-4513.
Oh, bold predictions.
Oh, yeah. We got to get our bold predictions in here too, though. Do you want to get those first?
No, go ahead.
All right. First, I want to get some reads out of the way because make sure you go and subscribe to the Giants Huddle podcast. It features long-form interviews with Giants players, coaches, and front office staff, past and present, plus hear from the best analysts covering Big Blue and the NFL. Search for Giants Huddle and subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms or go to giants.com/podcasts. And don't forget, if you are on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a 5-star positive review for all of our Giants podcasts. Plus, run or walk with Giants legends. The Giants Foundation will host a 5K race and kids run presented by Quest on Sunday, October 8th at 9 a.m. at MetLife Stadium. Net proceeds will benefit the Giants Foundation. All participants will receive a commemorative t-shirt after the race. Stay for a post-race festival with appearances by Giants legends and a live DJ. Register now at giants.com/5K. Before we get to the calls, Howard, I need to know your bold prediction for the 2023 Giants season.
Bold prediction.
Let's get bold. Not italic, not underlined, not Helvetica. We want bold times New Roman.
Bold prediction. I will say that the Giants will have 40 sacks this year.
Okay.
Is that bold?
Well, I mean, the Eagles had 70 last year.
Okay. How many do we have? Like 25?
Let's see.
30?
I'm going to pull it up right now. Oops. And of course, let's see. Giants, sacks. Pearson, you know off the top of your head, producer
Everybody's
Pearson?
Everybody's looking.
41. So they had 41 last year.
Okay,
so 40 would be less than last year.
I thought that was
Howard's bold prediction. They're going to be one sack less than last year.
They're going to have 59 sacks.
Okay.
I would say 60, but that's 20 more.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually 19 more than last year because it was 41.
Then can I go 61? Is that better? 61 sacks. We're going to have
61 sacks.
That's a lot, man. I should never say that out loud. That's
I mean, it has to be bold. I said it can't be italic. It had to be a bold prediction.
Okay. How about this? Forget that. I don't like that one at all.
Control Alt Delete. We're undoing that one.
Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
Will have total offense 2,900 yards.
Saquon Barkley total offense 2,900.
I gotta be over on that one.
Oh yeah.
Is it 1,200 running?
Because last season Saquon had 1,300 rushing yards, 1,312 yards. He had 338 receiving yards.
Okay, that's a lot then.
So he had about like 50. Wait, how does the math work? 13, 16, 17, 50?
That's too much then. Okay.
So 2,900 is a whole 1,200 more than
I remember 2,000 yards. He's going to have 2,000,
okay.
2,050.
Howard Cross. Well, Howard Cross carried the 2, does some math over here.
I don't know how many yards he had.
40 sacks to 3,000 yards from Saquon. I mean, these are some bold predictions.
What was the final one? 2,000 what?
2,050.
Rushing or total?
Total.
Okay. All right.
2,050.
He's going to have more than that, but that's just something.
He's going to have more than that.
He really will.
Okay, wait. I need to pull out the calculator because I can't do math in my mind now.
It's like 300 more yards.
Yeah, last year he had 1,650. So you're giving him 2,000. So 400 yards more.
Mm-hmm. Total offense.
Total offense for Saquon Barkley.
That's reasonable.
That's bold.
Last year was a career year for him, and you're giving him 400 more yards than a career year. I mean, I'm here for it. I am supporting this wholeheartedly, Howard Cross.
I'll explain to you why.
Okay.
It's very simple.
All right.
Receivers run routes.
Yes.
When they take off, everybody's got to cover them. It's not going to be like it used to be where you can just like rush the quarterback. And when Saquon is stepping out on the edge, they throw the ball to him. There's not going to be anybody there.
There you go.
If he fakes a block and just leaks out and they dump it to him.
Wide open spaces.
It's going to be like some poor defensive back that's going to be looking at him going, I got to tackle him. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. He's going to get a lot more yards.
I like it.
Yeah, and the rushing yards are going to be greater because you can't stack the box with 10 or 12 guys. Mm-hmm. He should have an extra 300 yards, 400 yards, yes.
I'm here for it. Well, my bold prediction is not nearly as bold or all over the board as your options have been.
I had to get some numbers down.
40, 70, 3,000 total yards. I mean, hey, listen, I
fanned out for a minute.
I support and appreciate the confidence. My bold prediction is that Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari will combine for 20 or more sacks.
That is a very bold prediction.
Combine for 20 or more sacks. Right. So it could be 10-10, could be 12-8. Kayvon last year had 4. Azeez, he was injured and missed some time as well last season. Okay. And he had 5.5 sacks last year. So last year they combined for 9.5.
So Azeez you're going to give him an extra 11.
But Azeez played just 7 games because of injury. Kayvon played 14 games because of injury. So I think they're going to be healthy. And I think they're going to meet at the quarterback and combine for 20 sacks.
Okay.
Kayvon and Azeez. That's my bold prediction. We want your bold predictions too. So we're heading to the callers right now. 201-939-4513. Hit us with your bold predictions, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, all of it. Madelyn, Burke, and Howard Cross here on Big Blue Kickoff Live. And we start, of course, with Tom from Stratford, who's been holding the longest. Hello, Tom. How's it going?
Hi, Madelyn. It's always nice to see you on TV and to hear your voice.
Thank you.
Aww.
Hi, Howard.
And Howard's here, too.
And Howard's here, too.
I'm not forgetting you, Howard.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
My bold prediction, I think I gave it to you last week. Danny Jones going to the Pro Bowl.
I like that one.
I think he's going to have a combined 30 touchdowns between throwing and running. And I don't see him throwing more than 8 interceptions. And I just also want to remind everyone before people start calling up from all over the country bashing Evan Neal. He's 22 years old, okay? Just remember, he's 22 years old, and I'm confident in his work ethic, and that I think he'll take a tremendous leap forward this year. I'm very confident of that. And that's all I got. I know you got a lot of callers online, so thank you for taking my call.
Appreciate it, Tom. Appreciate the call, appreciate the bold prediction, and appreciate the vote of confidence for Evan Neal. You know, I mean, sometimes it's nice to have somebody call in and just say, hey, listen, I've been hearing this guy catching a lot of flack. I just want to be the one person to give him a little vote of confidence in there.
So 30 touchdowns combined.
30 touchdowns combined. All right, so last season, Daniel Jones had 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He said no more than 8 interceptions, which I appreciate that.
30 touchdowns combined.
30 touchdowns combined.
If Waller had 3. No.
Wait, you're giving Waller 3 touchdowns?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to give her, because it's going to be a lot of people scoring, catching the ball. Okay,
right,
so let's
but
say
in a
Waller
17-game season?
He has 8. Let's give him 8.
Okay.
Hyatt has 4.
Okay.
Long passes.
We're at 12 now.
Paris has. He's gonna have a lot too. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I said Waller like 4, maybe 5.
But then also you got Saquon. Does he run it in? Does Daniel Jones run the ball in?
No, we're talking. See, that's the problem.
No, but that's why he said combined.
Yeah, so he had 22 total last year.
He had 22 total last year, and he's going for 30
okay.
total.
He could do.
But he had 15 passing touchdowns last year. You're over here with Pepsi going on.
Pepsi's wearing me out over there.
for these, for the people that are listening or watching on video, saying, what is going on over here? But yeah, all right. Well, that's a good prediction. That's a good prediction. I'm here for that.
It's like totally. It's kind of like my prediction. So
which one of your predictions?
See, what he did was he actually looked at the numbers before he said something.
Yeah. So. He was like, "Oh, this is okay.
I got Howard.
Here's a starting point, and here's how we build off of it. All right. Well, we'll see.
I like that.
He did good. We appreciate the call, Tom. Giants fans, take your fandom to the next level with a season ticket membership. Stay connected to the club all year round, not just on game days. Memberships are now available for the 2023 season. To learn more about all the exclusive member benefits, visit giants.com/tickets. Limited inventory is available, but make sure also the 2023 NFL schedule is officially out and single game tickets are on sale now. Don't miss the Giants at MetLife Stadium this season. Visit giants.com/tickets to secure your seat. Giants, Cowboys, Sunday Night Football right here at MetLife Stadium, right across the street from where we are, as we send it back to the phones, 201-939-4513. Holding now on line 2. Wait, oops, here we go. I just moved the little thing, and now I can't find. There we go. Line 2, Mike in Manhattan is holding.
What's up, Mike?
What's happening, Mike?
Hi, guys. This is my second time ever calling in, and both times the caller before me talks about exactly what I want to talk about.
Oh, no.
But I guess a little more to that. I mean, is there anything that you've seen in person with Evan Neal, whether preseason or in practice, that gives you hope or makes you think that he has improved, other than being right next to Andrew Thomas all day, every day?
Yeah, the biggest thing is his health. But last year he got hurt like I think 6 or 7 games into the season. Then he sat out, and then he tried to come back and play on one leg, and it is what it is. Like, that's what happened to Andrew Thomas his first couple of years. He was playing on a bad ankle till he had that ankle fixed. He looks like a totally different person. So, I'm just hoping that he's healthy enough. I don't know if he had surgery or not. I don't, ask any questions about what guys are doing to their bodies or whatever in the offseason. But if he's healthy, he's going to grow tremendously from the first year to the second year. If he's not healthy and he tweaks it, then you'll see it early on. Yeah. So that's just part of the deal with big guys in their lower bodies. Yeah, I mean, and talking to Evan Neal coming out of college, I mean, the durability was the biggest thing for him. He said last year was the first year he'd really played through a significant injury like that, and so it's shocking. The first time you hurt something and you're trying to work your way through it, you're like, I can do it. And they're like, oh, well, maybe you should take a little bit of a rest. I think I'm okay.
Right.
Then they watch you like, now? He goes, okay, I'm not okay.
Right. Well,
when am I okay?
Because that's the thing too, like learning the NFL, not just the game, not just the routine, but also what it takes and what your body is going to feel like week in and week out, and knowing where the limit is. I mean, I remember when I had to go through physical therapy, they're like, okay, you have to push right up against the pain, but don't go to the pain. And finding that point of like coming back from an injury, it's like, okay, I think this is right up against it. I think I'm okay here. I don't know. And that's a big thing too, especially when you're a rookie coming into this league trying to earn your spot, not only, in this league and earn that respect of your teammates, but you're like, I can do this, tough it out. Now that Evan Neal is feeling healthy, feeling ready to go, I think that we're going to see a little bit of different version.
Yeah, it's kind of like watching Thibodeau from the first part of the season.
Right.
Because he was coming off that injury in preseason, and then 4 or 5 games in, he was trying to protect himself from injury again, and all of a sudden he's like, wait a minute, maybe I can try this. And then he saw Ojulari blow off the corner. He was like, I can try this. Let's see if I can do this. And it just looked different. Yeah. When you start to feel healthier, you do a lot more. You can do more. He's lower in his stance. He's moving well with his feet. So, I'm feeling very confident. But again, the way they practice these days, this is not the Giants, it's the league. They do everything they can to protect the players to make sure they can be on the field at all times, and hopefully it works. I think that like regular games are taxing on the body. Right. Mike, thanks so much for the call.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so true. Regular games taxing on the body, and the consistency, and especially with the schedule too. You look at it. First, you got 3 games in the first 11 days of the season. Kevin in West Palm Beach holding on line 3. Kevin, what's happening? Welcome to BBK.
Hi, Madelyn. Hi, Howard. So somebody already kind of stole my bold prediction about Danny taking the Pro Bowl here, but one other bold prediction I would give is I think Jalen Hyatt's actually going to make a run at Rookie of the Year. I really have been seeing not just maturity in his interviews that he's been getting conducted, and his practice on the field and his couple of performances in exhibition, but like just in general, I'm just getting these OBJ, maybe OBJ light vibes, but still OBJ vibes from just everything he's bringing to the team. And I think
it because he changed his number to 13?
Yeah,
I mean,
it definitely helps matters for sure. But on top of that, I did have a question for you both, because I've been doing a lot of debating and thinking with friends and family about what this season means, and everybody right now is really just kind of souring on the Giants. Like, I've been watching NFL Network, everybody's saying 7 wins seems like a stretch for them. The schedule is so difficult. And namely, I've been really looking at these first 6 games. I know we're playing Dallas, but then there's the short week between the Cardinals and the 49ers. And then after that, obviously, we've got Seahawks, Bills, and Dolphins. What do you think realistically in those first 6 games do we have to come out with record-wise to really stay in contention for the division, moving forward? Do you think it's 4-2, 3-3? I've even heard some people say as long as we're 2-4, I think we'll still be on a good path given the rest of the season. Just curious, and I'll take the call off the line.
Thanks so much for the call.
Like, how many games do you have to win? Like, that's 6 games. You play one division team, right?
Yeah.
And then you basically play the AFC East. This one.
But again, Joe Shane talked about this too. It's like, yes, division wins are more important mathematically. You want to win the division. You want to win divisional opponents. But last season, the Giants won 1 game within the division, and they went into the playoffs. So yes, they matter. Yes, they're important. Yes, they hold more weight. But is it possible? It's not like you want to just guffaw these other games.
The way I look at it, if they could figure out a way to Arizona, they should win, because I think Arizona had a yard sale, and I don't think they have anybody there playing anymore. But
yeah, they got the Toon Squad at cornerback.
Yeah, so then Seattle might be great, and they might be average. It's the second year coming off Seattle.
Seattle too. You got, Geno, comeback player of the year last year, and that's another Monday night football game.
Yeah. Then you have San Francisco. I'm assuming Brock Purdy's all ready to go, so that'll be an interesting game. And it depends if they get Bosa in camp or not.
Right. Well,
I think he should be there, but if he's there, is he the Bosa that he's supposed to be? Or because game shape is different than being in shape.
Exactly.
So can he get in shape in the next 3 weeks? Let's say no, and he has to take a little break. So those are your opportunities. The Miami and Buffalo game, that's too far ahead. I just think if they come out of it 3-3, I think they're way ahead.
Yeah.
They come out of it, 4-2, they're legendarily ahead. But it's a tough schedule.
And
it's not just tough. It's like Sunday night. Then you got the Cardinals in Monday night. Then it's like, okay.
Yeah, you got 4 of the first 6 games in prime time. You open up on Sunday night with Cowboys. Then you go to the West Coast. You're at the Cardinals, which, as you mentioned, Howard, they had a bit of a fire sale. They even, waived Colt McCoy. They got a rookie starting at quarterback. They got, Kyler Murray in his crop top, probably on pup all season. I mean, you know the picture. Everyone on the internet knows the picture. But if they come out of those first 3 games 2-1, if they win, if they win against the Cardinals and one of those games between the Niners and the Cowboys, I feel like you feel good about that. It's tough coming off of that Cardinals game, though, because you're going to stay on the West Coast on a short week and then go to San Francisco. So as an athlete who's used to rhythm and routine and consistency, you're not in your normal training room. You're not in your normal habit. You're not eating at home. You're eating, on the road. All these little things that are throwing you out.
That's why Dayball's been having really weird practice schedules.
Exactly.
But he says that we're not going to do anything routine because we won't have a routine till after the 3rd or 4th game.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
And this is the kind of Jedi mind tricks that these coaches think about, which is what makes them good coaches, right? Because it's like, you hope, right? You want to be prepared for the lack of consistency, the lack of schedule regularity, because they're going to have a lot of it. And so then, you got Thursday night in week 3, and then you come back and you've got a Monday night at home, and then you're back on the road in Miami, and then you're back on a Sunday night at the Bills.
That's crazy.
And so, again, I mean, I think Kevin made a great point. Just the fact that the whole schedule is so disjointed, and that you got 4 of the first 6 on prime time, 7 of the first 10 on the road.
Yep.
On the move like the Leafs.
It's going to be crazy, but we'll see. I still think they're going to do well. I just don't know what the prediction should be. I can't predict schedules because it's too tough.
I know, and especially too. I mean, we look at the schedule now at this point in the year, and you think, okay, we are judging what this weight of this matchup is mostly based on what we saw from that team last year. I mean, there are some teams like the Cardinals, for example, we're judging it based on recent news out of Arizona. But, the 49ers, we're judging that 49ers team based on what the 49ers looked like last year. We're judging this Seahawks game based on what the Seahawks looked like last year. And last year, we saw how wrong that can be sometimes with that Titans game.
That's true.
Titans were coming in the number 1 seed in the AFC. They were not that same team last year. So not all of these teams, as we perceive them now, are going to be how they are when we match up against them, if that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Okay, good. Sometimes I say words and I'm like, did that translate from here to there?
It made it.
All right, we made it. We did it. 201-939-4513. Heading back to the phone lines, and thrilled and honored to welcome into the show on Big Blue Kickoff Live, joining Howard Cross and Madelyn Burke. It's Charlie from Maine.
Hey, Madelyn.
Hey, Charlie. How you doing?
I'm good. Madelyn, you amaze me. You are so talented. Now you can even sing. I can't believe it.
That's so funny.
I just got to keep them guessing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Look, the best teams adapt and adopt. If you can't adapt and adopt, then you're not going to win in the NFL. You can't be so rigid that you have to eat your lunch at exactly 12:01. Even if you're not hungry, and you got to practice at exactly 1:31, or it destroys your whole rhythm. That's ridiculous. Yeah. You have to adapt and adopt. Okay. Go ahead, Howard. Tell me about it.
That's a good point.
I don't have much to tell you on that. I mean, I just think that you can say the best teams could have to adapt and adopt, but what happens is that, like every sport, guys get into rhythms and schedules, and guys are quote unquote creatures of habit, and they're superstitious and everything else. So you can say what you want to, trying to break their habits up as much as possible. It's all you can do. And it doesn't happen. Everybody can't do it. Like a great example would be Kirk Cousins. During the day, if the sun's up, he's the most dangerous person in the world. At night, he's a reverse vampire. He goes back. Into his crib.
I was going to say he's a vampire.
But it's like just certain players can do it, certain players can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the best teams are able to do that.
Right.
But anyway, I'm gonna give my prediction.
All right, let's hear it.
And you're probably not gonna like them, but All these guys we brought in, they've all been injured. I don't think Waller's going to last 17 games. He'll be lucky if he plays 10. Paris Hilton will be lucky if he plays 8. Daniel Jones has been injured 3 out of the last 4 years. He's due to miss some games this year. He might miss 3 or 4 or 5 games this year.
That is not nice.
Well, I told you wouldn't like it, Howard, but it's reality. That is the example, right?
Charlie, I'm over here touching wood just listening to you. Like, knock on wood, let's hope this doesn't happen.
Charlie, you're not.
You're like manifesting this team into the infirmary right now. What's going on?
Aziz has never been able to stay on the field. So, I mean, we have all these if. It's ridiculous. There's too many ifs. But anyway, I say our record is going to be either 6-11 or 7-10. And the reason I say possibly 7-10, the last game of the year is against Philadelphia. And if Philadelphia's got nothing to play for, we might win that game, and that would give us 7 wins. So that's my prediction on the win total.
Okay.
Wow. All right.
7
Right?
wins.
6 or 7, but only based on that Philly game. We got to put that asterisk in there, Pearson. Make sure.
All right.
So you know why? You know why I don't make predictions? Because
because you don't know how to do math, and you
that's true,
think,
too.
what's the difference between 41 and 61?
Because Green Bay was supposed to be great last year.
Yep.
And they barely got through the year.
Yeah.
Tennessee was supposed to be great last year,
Yeah.
and they had a horrible year. You never know what teams are going to be from year to year or what players are going to be from year to year. So you're just trying to, if you're making guesses and assumptions on what they were the year before, now you see, I just watched college games this weekend where the team that was in the national championship game lost to a team that had 1 win over 2 seasons.
Duke beat Clemson last night.
Beat Clemson
Duke
down.
Duke beat number 9 Clemson.
See, Charlie, how you try?
Charlie's always got-
Charlie, see how you spin it? And they might beat themselves, but
They did.
Duke gets the W.
Yeah, Duke gets the W.
I know.
Yeah, so you can't
right.
you can't.
Charlie,
predict it.
thanks so much
a
for the
lot.
call. Such a treat.
Yeah, when you
Charlie
try to
Green.
go on predictions of the year before,
Yeah.
what's happening from the year before, it's impossible because you don't know. Like Kansas City tonight on Thursday night could lose to Detroit. If they don't have their big, massive, everything defensive tackle in whatever other position they put him in the middle of the field,
Right.
their defense is below average.
Anything is possible. If you were to come into this season, like college football, you just mentioned, and you were to say, okay, by the way, week 1, Colorado is going to knock off TCU. Okay,
After getting rid of their entire team.
After getting rid of their entire team, yes, TCU doesn't have Max Duggan and several players as well, but okay, fine. Florida State's going to beat LSU. Duke is going to get their first win against an AP top 10 team in 34 years.
34
Clemson's
years.
first loss to Duke since 2004. That was like
You
20
weren't even
years ago.
born.
I was absolutely born. I was out of.
Just keep.
Okay, thank
don't do
you.
it.
Yes,
Don't do it. Stop.
I am so youthful to the viewers out there. Y'all have no
She's about
idea.
to tell us what she was doing in 2004.
Yep, we don't want to know.
I don't know. Young lady over here, not that young.
Yep.
But no, that's so true. I mean, and so that's why week 1 especially, it'll tell us some things, but it's not going to tell us everything.
No, it's going to be a lot. I just think that,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting.
Man, that's
That's all I can say.
Howard Cross's bold prediction. Man.
Wow.
Well, we'll see. We'll see about it. We'll know about it soon enough. The Giants' official connected TV streaming app, Giants TV, brings original video content and game highlights on demand and direct to Big Loop fans. Giants TV is free on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, and also on the Giants mobile app. What are you looking for?
Oh, no.
I just felt like you'd look around while I'm doing the read. I'm like, it's like Howard checking out every corner of the room. Oh, look, there's a ceiling. There's a corner.
I'm like, okay. So I said, there's something on my phone that's written here. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So I wonder what else is around that I haven't noticed
Oh, look,
before.
a bird. All right, let's get back to the callers, shall we?
so distracted.
Len in Maryland on line 2. Len, thanks for calling BBK.
What's going
You've
on,
got
Len?
Howard and Madeline.
Yeah. Good to talk to both of you. And always a tough act to follow. Why do I always have to follow Charlie?
I think it's
such
kind
a
of like,
tough
I
act
don't
to
know.
You
follow.
guys must plan this. You guys must plan this long in batches.
Yeah. Come on, Madeline. Next time you got to flip me with Charlie from Portland, Maine. No. Hey, Howard, quick question.
Yes.
Was that Roman Oben's son who got a sack last night for
Yes, it was. Roman Oben and Howard were the same year in school. I think Roman's son went to St. Peter's, St. Peter's Prep, and Howard went to St. Joe's in Montvale. So, they got to play against each other often.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, a couple of weeks, don't they?
Yeah,
a couple of.
Yeah,
cool. That's in Durham.
Yes. I will actually go down to that game.
Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, on to the Giants. I'm going to differ with Charlie a little bit. I will not be shocked if the Giants win 10 games. Okay. I think the roster's that good.
See, this is why, Len. This is why we have you after Charlie, so you can bring the pendulum back, bring it back to the middle, right?
just to fuse all
of that. That's cool. That's cool. He's right a lot of the time, though. He's right a lot of the time.
That's good.
If Saquon Howard, if Saquon goes for more than 2,000 total yards, I think we could win the division. Wow, if he has that kind of year, and I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I think he's, it's time for that kind of performance out of Saquon. But that would really be nice, boy. This team would explode.
Yeah,
Saquon would give us that kind of yardage.
I think he has an opportunity because I think he can do it with less touches than he had in the year before because there's just so many more weapons and there'll be, you can't cover everybody. You can't be you can't be 9, 10 guys in the box like we saw sometimes. They're going to have to spread out and actually play football now.
Yeah. One of the previous callers, you were talking about the schedule, breaking down the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You could make a case. I don't necessarily want to fall into this camp, but you could make a case for the season actually starting on October 22nd at home against the Commanders. 10 games to go, 5 of them in the division, and it could be that the closer we get to that October 22nd date. Boy, that's really when this season starts with 5 division games left, starting with that one at home. I'm kind of thinking in that direction. I haven't really fallen into that camp yet, but I could see how you could make a case for that. Could make a case. Yep. Hey, Madelyn, go ahead. I'm sorry, Howard. Did you want to say?
If you go down that path, that probably means that you're thinking of losses, which means there's probably going to be some injured bodies, and that's probably why that's coming about.
Yeah, we would.
Yeah, we don't want any injured bodies.
No.
We want.
I agree.
If everybody's healthy and everybody's playing, pretty well or at their best, it could be a lot different. I don't want to make any predictions because it's crazy.
I get you.
Mm-hmm.
I get you. But if we could be 3-3 going into that game against the Commanders,
that would be that would be very successful.
Man, we'd be on our way. Hey, a couple of things I'm going to be looking for. I'd like your comments on Sunday night, and I'm looking forward to the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be great. But when I picked those binoculars up and put them to my eyes, the first sequence when the Giants are on defense, guys, I'm really going to be looking. I mean, is it really going to be Trey Hawkins with a Dory at slot? I don't know if I'm ready for that, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What do you think?
I think that I'm not sure how they're going to run it. I don't know what personnel they'll have in the game, meaning Dallas. If it's a standard defense, I don't know who's going to be starting on the opposite side. It'll be Banks in either Hawkins or Banks in Adoree Jackson. I don't think Adoree cares if he's inside or outside. I think Adoree will probably follow around Lamb because that's their everything player. So if a Lamb goes to the outside, I think that Adoree follows him to the outside. I think that they'll just keep moving him around trying to make sure that he's going. But that's what I would do.
No, I'm not sure.
I don't know what Wink's gonna do. But that's what I would do. I would put my guy that I could trust. That. Not that I don't trust the 2 young guys. It'd be the guy that wants to be on him, which they will all raise their hand to get on him probably. But I'm going to take the veteran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, is it okay to say, Howard? Is it okay for me to say that I don't trust the 2 young guys?
You cannot trust them, but they look pretty.
I mean, I guess that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
I'm just not ready. I'm just not ready to put Trey on the field starting Sunday night. That first series against the Cowboys. But
I get it.
mean,
Change is scary. The youth is a little bit scary, but you know what? When they get out there, if they earn your trust on Sunday night,
Yeah.
maybe,
Hey, the coaches know best.
Exactly.
The coaches know best.
Sauce Gardner,
Yeah,
Sauce Gardner was a rookie last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Yep.
And Hawkins, Howard, an interesting thing. During the draft, and when I'm watching the draft. They get to the 7th round, and the network I'm watching, and all of a sudden Trey Hawkins comes up, and the only player they didn't have any film on. Of the 256 people, drafted, the only person they didn't have film on was Trey Hawkins.
Well, 6th round.
And I'm thinking, oh my God,
yeah.
6th round pick, yeah. But he was the only one they didn't show even a couple of plays on. Hey, let me ask you one more quick one. I'm more comfortable with Ojulari and Thibodeau standing up in the defense. When I see them both with their hand in the ground in a 4-3 defense, Howard, it makes me very nervous. I don't think they play the run as strongly with their hand in the ground than they do from the stand-up position. Can you comment on that, please?
Playing the run is thanks for the call.
Thanks for the call,
I
Len.
think playing the run is at 4-3. So just so everyone knows, 4-3 is four defensive linemen. You have 2 defensive tackles inside, and you have 3 and a 1 or 1 and a 0 technique, and you have the 2 guys on the outside to play close to the tackles, either just inside if the linebacker's standing on the outside, or he's playing outside of him.
Mm-hmm. So 4 down linemen
linemen.
and 3 linebackers, as opposed to a 3-4, which is the inverse of that.
Yeah, 3-4 is 3 big guys.
3 big guys, the
and
hand
then
in the dirt,
4
4 guys
linebackers.
standing up. Yeah.
So what happens in the 4-3 is that there's a middle backer who plays. That's why they always call the Mike, and there's a weak backer that kind of plays off the ball.
Right.
The strong side backer, if he stands up and comes up on the line of scrimmage, the guy who's playing defense puts his hand in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
The backside defensive end always has his hand in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's saying, like he'd rather see them with their hand in the dirt. The problem is that in Wink's defense, they're not always. They might look like they're in a 4-3, but they might be in a 3-4, depending on who's in the game. And that guy that's on the end of the line will drop into coverage.
Right.
So you just don't know, and they'll rush from that position too. So it's just I would love to tell you that if you looked at it on film, you'd see it over and over. You'd know what they were doing, but you don't know exactly what they're doing, no matter how they're standing up.
Yeah.
And as far as playing the run, it's going to be based on not so much if he's standing up or if he's down. It's going to be based on like how the rest of the guys are playing.
Right.
Right. And all he has to do now is just set the edge. If he stands on the edge, we got a great middle backer now that makes a lot of tackles.
I don't have any notes on that one, right?
So they probably don't have notes on him either. But
I do get that point though, Len, because from a generic defensive standpoint, there's a difference with guys standing up versus hand in the dirt and his aggressiveness, his pressure. But you're right, Howard, as he points out, in Wink's defense, because of the way Wink disguises things and the way that he wants to keep guessing, that's not really a defining factor of what kind of pressure they're sending, of what kind of
And for people who don't know, and from a person who blocked a lot of people, I could direct you when your hand was in the dirt.
Right.
Because that means you're going forward.
Right. And
I can direct you inside, outside, stand you up, throw you down. If you're standing up, then I got to catch you.
Right.
And catch up to you. You're not usually doing it. And what he's referring to, he wants them to be coming upfield all the time as a defensive minded person. Sounds like he wants them to be penetrating and going forward all the time. But going forward means you get directed, and when you get directed, you make big bubbles and gaps.
Big bubbles, not good. Nick Bosa
Kinda
holding
like
out
Pepsi.
just like you and Pepsi, you and that mute button over there, just la-di-da looking around the room saying, look, okay, where can we end this? Anyway, 201-939-4513. We've got Daz in LA calling in on line 3. Daz, what's happening?
Hey, how you guys doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Pretty good. I got my predictions.
Yes, can't wait.
I got us at winning 10 games with the possibility of 11 and coming in second in the division.
10 games.
Yeah, this is solely based on us having good health. The health is the most important factor.
Yeah.
If to put it in perspective, if we go back to last season, I would feel confident enough to say that we could have at least won one more game with McKinney not missing any games. I'm confident enough to say that we could have at least won one more game with Adoree not injured. I'm confident enough to say that we could have at least won one more game with Aziz not in and out of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing for Wandell. The same thing goes for Sterling Shepard. The same goes for Bellinger, Neal, Thibodeau. So it's really the most important factor, and it's really going to determine what the season is going to look like.
Yeah.
And like I was just saying, if you really go back and you look at those games and you plug in one or two of those players that were missing in the lineup last year, then the season last year it has a different has even look to it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the one thing you can't predict is the health of a player. I wish it was something we could go through and we could, this guy's going to play at least 14 or 15 games and we know when he's going to get injured or whatever, but it just never happens that way. Some guys are, like I played through injuries through my career, and sometimes I played with something that was a little probably more hurt than I should be playing, and sometimes I didn't. Like somebody's like, well, the old expression was, are you injured or are you hurt?
Right. Because that's a difference. That is a difference.
And that's the old days. The new day is we protect the players at all costs, and if they say they have something, whether they believe it or not, even if they don't say it, they have red hats out there to take you off the field.
Right.
Guys pop up really quick trying to pretend like they didn't get hit. Like,
yeah.
I'm okay. Like, yeah, come over here. How you doing?
Yeah.
Get in the tent. Let me look at you. So it's a different world.
Quality
totally
control. Well, it's also too because sometimes you got to protect you from yourself.
Yeah, you
right?
kind of do.
You can't. You got to be able to be mindful of the fact that these guys want to be on the field.
Yeah.
You want to be protecting your spot on the roster, your spot in the rotation.
Yep.
And sometimes it's like, okay, I get that. I get that you want to play, but we got to take care of you.
Yeah.
Long term.
You're not looking long term here.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Daz, thanks so much. Yeah.
Thanks a lot for the call, my man.
All right. Bill in Denver, he's got a bold prediction as well on line 1. Bill, what's happening?
Hey, how's it going?
Very good.
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Hanging out with my 2-month-old today and figured I'd call in.
Precious.
Nice. Congratulations.
Teach him young.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So I have a couple of predictions that I'd like to share.
Okay.
Are they bold
I
predictions?
feel like, well,
or are they like
decide whether they're bold or not.
Okay.
I'll tell you, and then you tell me if they're bold or not. I feel like a lot has been made of Daniel Jones only throwing 15 touchdowns last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this upcoming season, he will throw at least 16 to backs and tight ends before you even account for the touchdowns to wide receivers.
So at least 16. So we're just going tight ends and running backs.
So that means
we'll have
that'd be a
16
lot.
receiving touchdowns. That's not including the rushing touchdowns. That's not including the handoff.
No, and then he's saying the wideouts. Wow.
That's not including the wideouts.
Wow. So
that is a bold prediction.
That's a bold prediction.
I will give that bold and underlined, actually.
That's pretty.
All right.
16 touchdowns to backs and tight ends.
And tight ends only.
Yep.
I mean, so is there are you thinking okay, Waller's going to have 10 of those or?
Hold on, let's think.
I think he'll account for half of them.
Yeah.
I think he'll get 8. I think Bellinger's good for a few, and Saquon's going to get a few.
Yeah.
And maybe sprinkle in a Gray or a Breida on
that's true.
play.
You know what? That's a great prediction.
That's a really strong. That's a strong, bold prediction, Bill.
I like that one.
Okay. All right. Add it to the sheet. What else you got? You said you had a couple.
Yeah. Well, I'll follow up with. I'll preface this and say that I realize that Pro Bowl is one part popularity contest, one part performance on the field.
Mm-hmm.
But
the perfect balance of the two.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had several Giants, though. And I think that this season we could get 5 in the Pro Bowl.
5
Giant players.
There will be Pro Bowl players.
Because last year it was just Saquon and Dex, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So who are the
Andrew Thomas makes the leap for sure.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
Because he was the snub last year.
Okay.
And then it's going to be, it depends on who steps up here, but I think Darren Waller's perfectly capable of it.
Okay, that's 2.
And then it's going to be some combination of Daniel Jones with that great season I'm predicting for him, Bobby Okereke or Xavier McKinney.
Wow.
One of those guys.
Okay.
Wow. That's impressive. And so you don't. Oh, all right. I like that one. Bill's saying 5 Giants to the Pro Bowl this year. Well,
and I think
Giants fans, get in your Pro Bowl votes to make sure you help out Bill with his bold prediction. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I'm thinking.
Thank you.
I like that. 5 guys. Okay. I like that.
5 guys. Throw in a burger and fries with that, too.
One last thing just for this week.
Okay.
Okay.
And so week 1, I think, is all about, well, not all. I mean, obviously the players got to play. But I think that the week 1 matchups, coaching is really, really important. And so my bold prediction for this week is that at the end of the week, the Giants and the Commanders sit atop the NFC East at 1-0, and the Eagles and Cowboys both lose. I think the Eagles lose to Belichick.
Oh, interesting.
Wow. That's another bold prediction.
That's a bold prediction.
Bill's getting bold with it. I respect that. It's a Tuesday morning, and he's coming out swinging.
Bills lose. Let's see. Eagles lose to Patriots first game. Well, it was Belichick. You never know.
Belichick's been playing mind games. There was a period of time where Mac Jones was the only quarterback on that roster after cut day. So
that's true.
Yeah, he's been just he's making his own rules over there, and I respect it.
Could be interesting. We'll see. Could be interesting. I like that one.
This is why we're going to be locked in on week 1 of the NFL season this weekend.
It's going to be a big game. It's going to be a lot of big games. It's going to be fun.
Great stuff, Bill. Thanks so much for the bold predictions.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate it. Of course. Enjoy the time with the 2-month-old. Some quality time with the fam. 201-939-4513. Speaking of coaching, though, one of the storylines I think people are going to be monitoring as well this weekend, Jalen Hyatt, Giants rookie wide receiver, speedster, fast guy. A lot of fuss was made about that video of Cowboys wide receivers coach Robert Prince, kind of having notes on, okay, well, what kind of route runner are you?
Calling him a one-trick pony.
Yeah, a little bit. And I think I'm wondering if you're Jalen Hyatt, does that matter to you? I mean, we talked about the Colorado game, the college game earlier in the show today, and how Shedeur Sanders was saying, hey, I remember when the TCU offensive coordinator wouldn't give me the time of day, so I wanted to go out on the field and show him what I'm working with here. I mean, do you think Jalen Hyatt's filing this away and being like, all right, let me show you what kind of route tree I can do?
I don't know. I mean, like it depends on like how mad the person made you, if you take it personal or not, or if here's a great one. When I was like coming out and doing all the tests for the coaches and the teams, one particular team, like they were there to see my roommate. They were there to see Derek Thomas. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Go see Derek. That's great.
Yeah.
They're like, Howard, we need you to work out. Show us some stuff. And blah blah blah. And they're like, then Jimmy Johnson says to me, he goes, well, I don't know how fast you are. I don't know, maybe just want to draft you. Hopefully you'll, have a chance in the league. I'm like, hopefully? Like, that's kind of funny. That's cute, coach.
That's cute.
And then Derek tells him, like, yeah, you probably don't want to make him mad. He goes like, oh, yeah, okay. And then the first time we played Dallas, I crushed their linebackers, and I walked by and I said, hey, coach, good to see you. The next time we played him, I would just continuously talk to him on the sideline every time we'd run a sweep in his direction, or if they threw me the ball, just to make sure he remembered that he was talking to me. But that was because it was personal.
Yeah.
So if Hyatt,
it's like the Jordan meme, and I took that personally.
Yeah, but
right?
but Hyatt has a different kind of like spot. Like he wants to catch the ball, right? He can run some hot routes. If he gets his hands on the ball, then he shows out. But if he runs a streak and blows by a guy and catches a touchdown, that's great, but it doesn't prove his point. If he goes up and runs a nice route and loses a guy and then catches the ball, like the route where he had a touchdown in the preseason where he made one move, the guy looked back. When he looked up, Hyatt was standing in the end zone.
Right.
That's going to impress coaches. But again, they're going to be like, well, it's just a deep ball. So that's what, if he's going to go run routes, he can perfect his routes. Just we got to catch it when he comes out of the break and get going.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think I think that's kind of one of those mindsets you've got as a professional athlete, as somebody who's playing at this level. Is like, okay, let me continually week in and week out.
You always want to, as we say, you always put your audition tape together because you never know what next week brings.
You never know what next week brings. I can't believe we are so close to game day. I feel like we've been talking about what we're going to see this season forever, and now we are just 5 sleeps away from Sunday Night Football. Or wait, 4. Wait, because it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
I just caught
5
on.
sleeps.
I just caught on to the sleeps thing. I'm like, what is she talking about?
Yeah, 5 sleeps. What you go to sleep 5 times, and after 5 sleeps, it's game day.
I don't know. I take naps, so like I'm not really sure how all this sleep thing is going. That's the rest of my math.
I don't know how to do the math. My math on how many sleeps you are away from it is going to be like your math and figure out how many sacks the Giants are.
Actually going to bed or on my couch or like what's happening with these?
Or just dozing off a little bit with a cigar in your hand.
Oh no! I don't set myself on fire.
Oh yeah, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Fire hazard. All right, Sunday Night Football. One player you've got your eye on.
For the entire night, one player.
Yeah, one player you are most looking forward to seeing on this field Sunday night.
One player. Simmons.
Simmons? Oh, that'll be a good one. Yeah.
I think that he's going to be an element to the game for Week's defense that's going to ratchet it up a little bit. Mm-hmm. He's going to be, like I said, he is going to look like a shot out of a cannon. He's going to be moving so fast. It's going to be interesting to see what Dallas has to do to confront and get in front of him and slow him down. When he starts doing all that, then they're going to pull guys away from Ojulari and Thibodeau.
Yeah.
So that's going to be, and the balls are going to be coming out quick. The ball's going to be coming. It's not going to be deep routes. It's going to be short inside routes and quick slants and everything. And that brings into those young corners and the safety, and which means McKinney could have a stellar day because that leads to tip balls and you're throwing over Dexter Lawrence and the big cat in there, and they're both like 6'8". I'm just joking. They're like 6'6", but you're throwing over 2 giant guys. And if they get their hands up and tips the balls, it could be an interesting night.
Could be an interesting night indeed. I've also got my eye on Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
Sterling Shepard, because, number one, this is the longest tenured Giant on this roster. But number two, I mean, you remember that Dallas game is when he went out with that ACL injury last year. So he's getting back on the field, kind of picking up where he left off after that incredible recovery. And, he was having a strong start of the season. He had a really good game against Tennessee in week 1. And so I'm just looking forward to seeing him get back out there because he's just one of those feel good guys too. He's a guy that is easy to root for. Shep's going to be a great one, but yeah.
In Paris, I want to see Paris.
Paris, yeah. I mean, all these wide receivers.
I know some of the obvious names, but Paris is a name to like. Okay, let's see what this kid does. Like, let's see how really, because he's fast. Like we see him making quick moves and running all these precise routes with rhythm and stuff. I like to see him go deep a couple times and see what happens. That's why I'm saying it's like we got 3 guys that can burn it down the field at the same time. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, we really only saw a very limited amount of
except for every day in practice.
Well, yes, but I mean, that's different. Like of what this offense looks like against another team in that one series. So we'll see how it goes.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I'm excited to be here every Tuesday with you throughout the regular season too on Big Blue Kickoff Live. That's Howard Cross. I'm Madelyn Burke. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode of BBK, which is a part of the Giants podcast platform everywhere, giants.com/podcast. Let us know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe, all of it. Tweet at us at HowardCross87, at Madelyn Burke, #GiantsChat. Thanks so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you next week. And the guys will be back tomorrow with more BBK.